Hey guys, Tyler FionnOnFire Erzberger here with RyanCentral from Hitscan, and today we are going to be discussing the news of top NA Valorant amateur player Phox being permanently banned from the game following confirmation that he was cheating during not only his online matches but in tournaments as well. Wow, it's really shocking. So early in the game's history, already not only cheating accusations, as you can talk about, Ryan, over in Europe, but an actual top amateur player that's been playing on he's been playing against the top players in NA. He had a 75% win rate in ranked, so he wasn't really hiding it that well. He was dropping 30 bombs against Hiko and Food and the best players in North America. He was going to be playing on Echo 8 this weekend in the PAX Arena Invitational, the second ever North American Ignition Series event, but he is now permanently banned. What's your just general thoughts coming out of the gate, Ryan?
I mean, the way that it was announced as well is just hilarious in itself. So Phox did a tweet long this saying he was taking a break as a mental health, and the Riot head of the cheats when it comes to Vanguard, anti-cheats, came in and said and tweeted at him, "If you come back, please don't cheat next time." And everybody, of course, blew up at that. It's just the fact that he was called out by Riot themselves in that fashion. People bringing in the Red Eye, Brutal Savage Wreck GIF, for example, is just a great way to sort of sum up exactly how this was announced. A lot of clown faces across, but it's the fact that I think this is kind of being boiling under the surface a little bit. Of course, a lot of these tournaments are going to be online for a long period of time, probably for the rest of the year, right? So in this early of a game, there are going to be situations of this happening. I'm quite surprised that this isn't brought up more often, because there's been a lot of accusations about cheating. Of course, there was this with the whole match fixing thing a couple of weeks ago. It's a big talking point, and it's a big buzzword for Valorant in general. We're going to go to war against cheaters, right? So having these kind of guys in the top tier tournaments of the scene is a big red mark against Riot's PR, I suppose, in that sense. But I think when people talk about the anti-cheat, they expect it to just work all the time. It's an evolving tool, right? And it's gradually catching people out. But just the way that this was announced, the way that they took Phox down was hilarious. But it does highlight a pretty big talking point for the future of Valorant, certainly over the next year or so.
For me personally, obviously Phox was not streaming any of his gameplay since he was cheating.
Yeah.
But I did see a lot of Phox play because he was a 75% win rate player, which means he was in Hiko's stream, he was in Tenz's stream, he was in Food stream. Anytime any big North American player was playing, it was always like, oh, this Phox guy. Oh man, this Phox guy's getting 10 kills, 20 kills, 30 kills. Who is this Phox guy? How is he so good? For me, it was like, oh man, this is so exciting. And it has this up and coming, newcomer. He's from Fortnite. I was like, oh man, maybe he can make a good name for Fortnite players out there. He could be like the Zypon. He could be the Zypon of NA, right? Where you have this kid coming in over from Fortnite, be this big star, this unknown, come in, smash everyone, play that raise, put up big frags. And then, obviously, Zypan, amazing player, doing extremely well with Fabrican over in Europe. And Phox, his evil doppelganger, I guess, wasn't anywhere near Zypan because he was cheating. And now this kind of rookie, this diamond in the rough that was supposed to play in the PAX Arena tournament this weekend, is now gone forever. He is permanently banned. He's not going to come back. I do hope he gets the help he needs, because from reading his tweet longer, from reading his posts, he does seem to have mental health issues. He does seem like he needs help, and I do hope he gets that help. I don't think it's going to be years before he has any chance of being unbanned, but I do hope he gets that help he needs. But again, I do think the buzzword, as you said, of Vanguard and anti-cheat, it's been the biggest thing about Riot's push into the FPS scene is we are going to stomp out cheaters. We are going to have this very, very controversial rootkit built into your computer called Vanguard that is going to maybe sometimes slow down your other games. It's going to bug out sometimes. but it's gonna stop the cheaters. And that's the one promise they gave everyone, is like, we will stop the cheaters from coming at you. And that's our number one point, is we want to make the game with the amazing ticks, the smooth FPS, and then we want no cheaters. And now we have a top amateur player that's been on stream after stream after stream after stream. He played in a charity tournament, Ryan. He was in a charity tournament for Gamers Outreach just 2 days ago, cheating, and he played out of his mind. He was the third rated player out of the entire event. He had the second highest average combat score while cheating. Tens, who does not cheat, he is just a robot and a monster, was the only person who could stop him in his rampage. But it really is, it's going to be a big thing, right? Because it's not something that could be just swept under the rug. When Valorant came out and said, we are going to be the frontier, we are going to be the leaders on the anti-cheat scale, we're going to bring in this Vanguard, and then you have a player who's been so prominent on streams, and it's not like people haven't called him out before, right? Like, people have been like, who is this Phox guy? He has to be cheating. He has to be cheating. It was a hilarious situation where the lead developer comes out and smacks him down and slam dunks him, but it does lead to a conversation of how good is Vanguard.
I mean, like I said before, it's a thing that evolves, right? But it's because it's such an invasive kind of level type of anti-cheat that people are going to look at it when it comes to a general broad stroke of, this is properly integrated into my PC and everything to do with it, yet it's not working because this pro player was able to do it. Then what's the point? Like, I don't think it's necessarily fair on Riot to kind of come to that conclusion straight away. But this raises that question mark over, solid players across the world now, because when it came to other games, yeah, this guy might be crazy in like playing online, but there's a LAN in a couple of months' time that he has to play in, and if he doesn't perform, there's going to be a big question mark there. I remember, I'm trying to remember the name of the Overwatch player, like it was the Korean female player that's on Shanghai Dragons.
Giguri, yeah.
Yeah, Giguri, like way back when, like people accused her of cheating to the point that she had like a webcam set up to sort of show it, and like Korean officials there to make sure that she wasn't cheating. We can't really do that right now with everything going on in the world. So this whole period is going to be relatively delayed. And I think the issue is when you accuse somebody of cheating, regardless of whether they're a cheater or not, that really stinks. Like, it really does harbor onto them for quite a while, regardless of whether their reputation is clean or not. And, even joking about it, I was sat watching a couple of the, I think, Vitality games, like the tournament, and seeing a player just do some really bizarre stuff, like not checking particular corners. And it's kind of like joking that he's cheating. He's using wall hacks to see that there's not a player around that corner and stuff. You don't say, what is he doing? This is crazy. But you don't say that on Twitter. You don't say that online, because that reputation really can ruin it for a lot of people. And even indirectly, NoPenki is a firm example in the EU scene. So what happened for NoPenki is they went through the WePlay qualifiers, which was a grueling task in itself. They qualified, and then the next day, they were sort of not necessarily sanctioned, but Riot came in and said, we need to check the integrity of this bracket because somebody cheated. And what it ended up being is that somebody in the qualifier the night before, they were accused of cheating. It wasn't NoPenki. It wasn't even teams that NoPenki played against. It was just a team that maybe cheated, that broke the integrity of the bracket, which allowed NoPenki to get to the finals and to win the finals in that way. I think Riot came out and said, no, it was all fine. Sorry to sort of bring it in there, like bring that up. But it's the fact that NoPenki's name was mentioned, and then it was just Twitch chat were like, these guys are cheating. Nobody ever thought they were. Everybody in the scene that I spoke to was like, no, NoPenki have a really solid reputation. We don't think it's them that are cheating at all. It might be X team or Y team, but nobody ever assumed it was them. It's just because their name was brought up in the same conversation that they now have a reputation to be cheating. Granted, it's in Twitch chat, so Twitch chat are going to say a lot of stuff like that, but they had a squeaky clean reputation, and just in the same breadth of being mentioned as cheaters, now have that reputation that's going to follow them around like a bad stink. And that's the dangerous thing about cheating in general, and the question marks that are going to raise because of all of this happening at the moment.
Final question before we get out of here. The tweet was hilarious. We can all agree that the tweet, it broke the internet a bit. Almost every pro player kind of had a reaction gift to it. But, we had the No Pinky situation where there was a lot of confusion. There was delays in the tournament. People, even myself, was confused of what was going on. We had now we have the Phox incident where they're going to Twitter. It's a hilarious anecdote we will share forever. But does Riot need to be better at presenting these facts? Should there be, when something like this happens, shouldn't there be something on a Valorant.com where it's like, this is what's going on, or hey, this high known player that's playing in tournaments, we have banned them. Like, do you think they need to be more transparent with their banning and just the entire tribunal process as it is?
Yeah, I think definitely. Like, I just think the way that they communicate that has to be so sensitive. Like, being called out like that on Twitter by one of the Riot devs, if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But there is a sense of, like, the whole other situation where he was accused of match fixing and stuff. Riot came in and sort of said through Artist, might I add, that he was clean, that he didn't do anything wrong, that he's good to join G2 or whatever was going on at that time. And it's just those situations where, you need like an official Twitter account to sort of comment on things that are happening. Because from what we worked out, it was kind of like we play awkwardly kind of coming in and going, it was not No Pinky's fault, it was this is what happened, and it was really like awkwardly explained, and not a lot of people saw it. They see the tweets from like people mentioning that Riot are looking into it, or Liquipedia saying that like the We Play tournament structure have taken No Pinky out of the bracket.
Yeah.
That communication not being there suddenly causes everything to be 10 times worse. So when it's a situation like this, having a dev call out a player in this fashion is great, but there's going to be more examples like this. And it's the fact that Nerd Street Gamers, the tournament organizers that these guys played in last night where they got third place, that's how they found out from the looks of it, and they had to adjust and go, okay, they don't get their third place tournament prize money or whatever, we're disqualifying them. This other team that came fourth gets that prize money instead, for example. It kind of feels like that needs to be communicated better so that everybody can come out at the same time and go, okay, these guys cheated. This is what we're going to do to rectify the situation in games that have been played previously. This is other teams that have been mentioned in the same breath. We want to make sure that they're innocent, they're not involved. We check them out, their record is clear. If they don't do that, then you have players having really bad reputations going into the scene, and we can't test them online. And we can't do that for like probably another like year. Well, within a year certainly, but like 6 months, 2021 more likely.
Ryan, where can people find you?
At RyanCentral _ like the main hub of like Valorant Esports and stuff, and hit scan for the YouTube stuff. I think there's going to be some patches and stuff soon, which you're going to mention on your podcast as well. I mentioned on Thursday, but as it hits, you want those kind of instant reactions from myself and Miska. YouTube.com/hitscans where it's going to be.
And if you want more from us, hit that bell, subscribe to us, because ESPN Esports is always on the Valorant coverage. And if you want news and articles to go along with your video coverage, hit us up at espn.com/esports.